Today we will be talking about the Civil War and the effects that it had for the Union as a whole. The war turned brother versus brother, son versus father, and state versus state. How did it become so bad? There are three main causes that we will look at for the Civil War. The first was the Kansas-Nebraska Act of 1854. This enacted popular sovereignty for any new state entering the Union, allowing them to decide whether they would be free or slave states. The second was the election of 1860, which handed the presidency over to Abraham Lincoln, which was a bad thing for the southern states since he was anti-slavery. The third cause was southern states that were seceding from the Union to form the Confederate States of America. This occurred after the election of Abraham Lincoln in 1860. There are three major battles that you will need to know for this lesson today. The first is Fort Sumter, which began on April 12, 1861 in Charleston, South Carolina. The battle only lasted 36 hours, but it started the bloodiest war in American history. The second is the First Battle of Bull Run or Manassas, which occurred July 21, 1861, and this opened the eyes of both northern and southern states that it wasn't going to be a short war. The third and final battle that you need to know is the Battle of Gettysburg, which was a 3-day unexpected battle that occurred July 1st through the 3rd of 1863. There are two main documents that you will need to know for the Civil War. The first document is the Emancipation Proclamation. This freed all slaves in the southern states, but none in the border states that remained faithful to the Union. The second is the Gettysburg Address, which was given by Abraham Lincoln in honor of the fallen soldiers for the Battle of Gettysburg. Here's a copy of the address, but I highly encourage you to go on YouTube and find an example of the words as somebody is reading them. You will need to know this for the test. Now we will talk about the end of the war, the surrender, and Reconstruction. On April 9th, General Robert E. Lee surrenders to General Ulysses S. Grant at Appomattox Courthouse, Virginia. Grant said that all men would be pardoned and sent home with their private property. On the evening of April 14th, 1865, John Wilkes Booth enters Ford's Theater and kills President Lincoln. This occurred only 5 days after General Lee's surrender. The United States of America was finally reunited, but with Lincoln's assassination, what would the process of Reconstruction now look like for the South?